20 Iranian oil tankers are sitting motionless in the Persian Gulf right now. Not docked, not moving, just overflowing. And that single image tells you everything about where this war is actually heading. Today is May 19th, 2026. 48 hours ago, the United States had a military strike on Iran scheduled for tomorrow. Not planned for next week, not hypothetical, scheduled. The bombers were positioned. The operators were in theater. The order was written. Then Trump made one phone call. 3 Gulf Arab leaders, the Emir of Qatar, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and the President of the UAE, asked him to wait. And he did. But read what he said next very carefully, because it wasn't a stand down. It was a trap. I have instructed the Secretary of War and the United States military to be prepared to go forward with a full large-scale assault of Iran on a moment's notice. A moment's notice. That phrase is doing enormous work right now. If you want to understand what's actually happening in this conflict before the mainstream media catches up, subscribe. We cover what the headlines miss. Here is what's happening on the ground that no one is talking about loudly enough. Iran's oil export system has physically broken down. Not financially, physically. The blockade has sealed every maritime export route. The tankers are full. The storage tanks at Karg Island are full. The oil that keeps coming out of the ground, because stopping it risks permanently damaging the reservoirs, has nowhere to go. It is spilling directly into the Persian Gulf. Satellite imagery confirms it. 20 tankers, motionless, surrounded by visible oil contamination. 5 weeks of a $500 million daily blockade loss, compounding every single morning. This isn't an economic pressure campaign anymore. This is an economic system past its breaking point, visible from orbit. Now here's the move most analysts are completely missing. Trump's postponement statement named 3 specific leaders: Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. Notice who is absent: Pakistan, the country that hosted the ceasefire talks, the country Trump publicly credited for the original pause. Pakistan is gone from this statement, and that deletion is deliberate. Why does it matter? Because an Iranian Air Force intelligence aircraft was parked 10 kilometers from Islamabad during the ceasefire negotiations. Pakistan's neutrality was compromised, and Trump just recorded that fact in public by removing them from the mediation framework entirely. The Gulf Arab leaders have now taken their place, and here is the trap those leaders just stepped into. They personally asked Trump to hold the strike. That means if Iran stalls, if the IRGC runs out the clock without a real deal, the next American assault happens with the full understanding that 3 Arab leaders had a chance to stop it and couldn't. Their credibility with Washington is now on the line. Their leverage over Iran has never been higher, and the IRGC knows exactly what that means. This is where the story stops being geopolitics and starts being something closer to tragedy. The IRGC's supreme leader died. His replacement, reportedly his son Mojtaba, has not been publicly verified as alive and governing. The previous supreme leader has reportedly not yet been formally buried. The civilian president cannot appoint his own cabinet ministers. The foreign minister cannot make diplomatic concessions without IRGC authorization, and the IRGC cannot authorize them without admitting what it has lost. Here is what it has lost. Over 160 naval vessels sunk. Its air force gone. 90% of its defense industrial base destroyed. Underground missile cities eliminated. And 2 to 3 fast attack boats now operate where 40 used to. To manage the morale crisis this creates, the IRGC is doing 3 things simultaneously. It is training pro-regime civilian women on AK-47s on national television. The same government that killed 3,400 protesters 15 months ago is now arming the loyalist segment of its own population because it is more afraid of external attack than internal revolt. It is holding mass weddings for 1,000 military couples simultaneously. because its soldiers are no longer motivated by revolutionary ideology and need something tangible to fight for. And it created an official government authority, complete with a verified X account, to announce toll collection in a strait that American F-35s are currently patrolling overhead continuously on refueling rotations that CENTCOM is posting about publicly. Iran paid Elon Musk for a blue checkmark to announce toll collection in a strait the American military is blockading. That is not a diplomatic strategy. That is an institution that has lost its grip on the reality it is operating inside. And all of this, the overflowing tankers, the sinking ships, the unexplained explosions at sensitive sites in Tehran that state media has simply stopped trying to explain, the cardboard cutout of the new supreme leader standing in at military wedding ceremonies, all of it is converging on a single operational question that will be answered in the next 48 to 72 hours. The IRGC thinks it is winning. That is not arrogance. That is what happens when every layer of a command structure is afraid to tell the layer above it the truth. The generals are reporting victories. The state media is broadcasting celebrations. A television presenter who shot a hole in his studio ceiling with a real rifle has been progressively downgraded to an air gun, shooting at photographs of Donald Trump on the studio wall. This is what the end of a military institution looks like when it is visible in real time. Not a surrender, not a capitulation announcement, just a slow, compounding, observable degradation. Tankers that can't move, ships that can't float, a nuclear program that can't advance, and a moment's notice that is sitting in the inbox of 3 Gulf Arab leaders who very much do not want to be the people who asked for a delay and got nothing in return. The window is open, but windows close. And the next time CENTCOM posts a routine F-35 refueling photo, read it the way it is written. This conflict is moving faster than any single headline can track. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe so you get the next one the moment it drops. And drop your take in the comments. What do you think the IRGC does in the